Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video, is missed by anybody.
Okay, so now I'll brief you exactly the calculations of what I wanted to tell you about the low dose protocol. How do we start it with our oxytocin drips? All right, and that with the help of adult drip set vis-a-vis a micro drip set. And why did the author say, and even now I find that it's easier to give you the micro drip set, but nevertheless we have adult drip set at every unit available, and I'll still stick to the adult drip set rather than the micro drip set. And here's the calculation. See, I told you at the very outset that you have this low dose protocol and high dose protocol. I just briefly kind of brushed up. So the low dose protocol, it starts with 1 to 2 milli-unit of oxytocin per minute, and you increase by 1 to 2 milli-units, again milli-units per minute. Remember these the units, very important, with every 20 to 30 minutes. So you see the response of the patient, and every 30 minutes you are increasing the oxytocin drip, right? And you are doing it by 2 milli-units per minute, right? And the high dose protocol, it starts with 6 milli-units per minute, and you increase it by 6 milli-units per minute every 30 to 40 minutes, right? So usually we do not go with this high dose protocol, we go with the low dose protocol, right? For obvious reasons, which I've already described to you before. Coming back, what I said was one vial, one ampule, you can say, one ampule of oxytocin, that it has 5 units of oxytocin. I said 5 units of oxytocin, right? So you just pour those 5 units of oxytocin in a 500 ml of NS or ringalactate, as I've described to you earlier. Why we are taking NS, I've already told. That gives you 1 unit of oxytocin in 100 ml. 5 units in 500 ml, that means 1 unit in 100 ml. But this is 1 unit of oxytocin. We are searching 1 milli-unit. So you have to divide by 1000. Both of them, if you divide by 1000, so it becomes 1 milli-unit, 0.1 ml. Correct? And 2 milli-unit, 0.2 ml. So we're talking about 2 milli-units. That means 2 milli-unit is 0.2 ml. That means 1 ml was 15 drops. So 0.1 ml becomes 1.5 drops, and 0.2 ml means 3 drops per minute, which is what is written in the chart also over here. Right? So that means 2 milli-unit per minute if you have to give according to the low dose protocol. According to the adult drip set, that equals 3 drops per minute only, which is so difficult. That means in the entire 1 minute, you keep standing 1 drop, and you keep waiting, then another drop, then keep waiting, maybe then another drop. That's how you have to titrate it. Does it happen in your labor room like that? Is that so slow? That means we are not giving her 2 units. We are giving definitely a dose above and beyond that. We are somewhere giving her a higher dose protocol, which is what I wanted to tell you, that if you're giving her at a drop rate of 8, let's say 12 drops, which happens most of the time in my labor ward, then it's around 8 drops or something. So you're giving the high dose protocol. It's actually giving 6 milli-unit per minute drop rate. And vis-a-vis, if you compare it with a micro drip set, if you compare it with a micro drip set, that means you are giving almost 12 drops per minute to get a small dose of 2 milli-units per minute, which is why they said it's easier, it's more logical, it's more practical to use a micro drip set for oxytocin infusion. But that does not happen, right? So what I'm trying to impress upon you with this is that actually we follow the low dose protocol because we are thinking we are giving 2 milli-units, but the drop rate is so high that it goes to this level, 6 milli-unit per minute. So I just refreshed your this process of understanding what exactly happens in our labor rooms, how do we, and whether we are doing the right thing or not. So basically we're starting with 2 units, but we are having such high drop rate that it actually goes to a high dose protocol. Most of the time in my labor ward, the drops are easily somewhere between around 8 to 10 for sure in my labor ward. So we are actually giving her this much. So, but yeah, everything depends upon the contraction. So if she's having very high tone uterine contractions, there's no gap in between the contractions, there is very less gap in between the contractions are ill-sustained, CTG is getting suspicious or pathological, please first track the oxytocin. It should be within limits, within bounds. All right, so this was the beautiful calculation. I'm sure everybody is now, much more confident than they were before about the calculation. And you still have doubts, please approach me. I have no problem. Then you have how to go beyond this, how to monitor. Then obviously you have to see the contraction, the frequency, the intensity, the duration, the gap in between the contraction, fetal heart rate, how it's responding, and that's how you titrate with oxytocin. Basically, my idea was to make you understand the oxytocin regime. And with this class tonight, I hope I've been able to impress upon you how you manage the oxytocin infusion. Obviously, it becomes slightly difficult with the adult drip set that we have. Like I told you, 15 drops is 1 ml, which is why the calculation becomes very, very less, because here we're talking about milli units. We're not talking about units at all. We're talking about milli units, so the calculation suddenly drops down to 3 drops per minute, which is slightly difficult to keep. So when you're starting with oxytocin, 4-5 drops is sufficient enough. That means you're giving her somewhere around 4 milli units, which is neither too much, not too less. So this much drop rate is, I think, fair enough. 6-7 drops. Correct. So guys, if you still have any doubts, I'm here to answer you. If you do not have any doubts, you can log off and you know how to approach me. If there are many students in my class who do not like to write down anything in the chat, they approach me separately on the WhatsApp. I have no queries. I love to accept their queries there as well, but I like to answer it there aloud in the class, so that anybody else who is also a silent, mute student in my class who doesn't like to voice their concerns can also be benefited by that. So with this, I finished the class tonight. I hope the insulin regime is better with you. Oxytocin regime is better with you. And now with this slide, at least, the calculations are also pretty easy. So thank you once again, guys, for your patience. Thank you so much for staying up with me. My throat was not okay tonight, so I'm really sorry for interrupting the class 2-3 times. But I hope with this calculation, things have become embossed in your mind. Just revise it once more and you're good to go. So thank you so much, everyone. Good night and God bless.